What up guys, let's talk about the live arena. Winstreak mode, it has been a massive success, the players are super happy, it gives insane loot, but there is actually breaking news, there's multiple different issues. There's a bug, there's some, how would I say, bad design by Plarium, allegedly, we'll get into that in a second. Maybe some coding errors. There's multiple different issues. We'll get to all of those in a second. Actually, let's start with... Let's start with the main deal. So, the main issue, I think, which is just not a bug, not the players abusing the system, not a coding error, but just like a design error or like a mishap on the system, that I already talked with the community managers and they said that they're looking into it. So Plarium might actually rapidly address this issue. But so quick recap how this works. You do 7 battles and ideally you would win 5 of them. You can lose 1 and you can still get the 5 battle win streak. I don't know if that's how it actually works, but that's how it works with Plarium. And the loot will scale between your tier, and the tier is just your live arena tier, but if you're like an active player and this is a long-term game, you're probably in gold 4, like pretty much almost everybody who plays actively, outside of new players, because you can't go down, you can only go up, and people are many times the limit of the gold 4. So depending on your tier, the loot will be adjusted a little bit, but most people will be in tier 6, and there is the normal gladiator chest, and then there's the warlord chest. Warlord chest you will only get if you get all the way to 5 wins, and it will unlock some bonus options that are really cool, that everybody wants to get. And then if you get unlucky or you're not strong enough, then you have to take the normal casual pleb loot and what everybody gets. Now both of them are good, so doing this is definitely worth it. Plarium is farming people's playtime again. Well played, Plarium, you got us. It's a good game mode, you should do this. People are salivating to get the mythic gemstones and everything else. The mythic gemstones and like the new gemstones overall are really cool, but now we run into the first issue with the design of the system. We'll get into bug and some player abuse in a second, but if we take a closer look at this table, and like I said, Plarium community manager already said that they're looking into it and they might actually fix it. But if you click on the tier 6, which is what I'm in, and probably you also, the lowest rarity gemstone that you can get is actually epic. So we can get from epic to mythic. There's no blue or rare rarity gemstones. Epic is the lowest. And even if we go down couple tiers, wait, where can I see it? Here. I kind of need to scroll back and forth, but I think it's all the way down to tier 2. Tier 2 is the lowest tier, where you can actually start getting blue rarity gemstones. And you might say that, isn't that great? We're not gonna get the crappy ones. But that means that only people that are in bronze 4 and lower, they are able to get the blue rarity gemstones. Now, first of all, it should still be that in general everybody can get them, even if it didn't really matter. The issue here is though that many of the best gemstones actually are blue rarity. I don't know if this is just a weird mishap or Plarium overestimated how useful the very dodgy specific gemstones on the other rarities are, but the TLDR version, if you just want quick recap from like a super hardcore try-hard PvP enjoyer, basically half of the mythic gemstones are like really good in PvP. There's like one really good legendary gemstone, this one. Okay, I'm covering it again. And then everything, all of the other legendary ones are kind of at best very niche on like one specific thing, like a poison build or whatever. But none of them are really meta. Not a single one of the epics is good. So one legendary and half of the mythics are like great. Most of the rares are really good though, so you kind of actually do want to get the rares. This is the one really good, really powerful legendary one. It's kind of like mini cat's case. Increases the wearer's ignore defense by 5% against enemies whose max health is greater than the wearers in Siege or Arena. So it's basically mini cat's case, and you can put 2 of these on a cat's case. So this is incredible. Then the other ones are like very dodgy. 10% damage against enemies under fear. I don't know if this is just Plarium trying to make filler gemstones that are not good, or like they don't realize, you know, how impractical many of these effects are. Now, getting like, well, 25% less bomb damage is complete trash, but having a little bit extra damage on bomb and poison, like maybe one champion in the game can use one of those, but basically all of the legendary ones are like that. All of the epics as well. Some of the mythic ones are like that too. The wearer ignores 15% of target's resistance when placing freeze debuffs. Plarium. These are meant to be filler, though some of the mythics are good, but pretty much all of the rarity gemstones are great, and you can't get them. Let's count how many of them are bad. The wearer receives 5% less damage while under CC. This is like not good, but not like completely trash. This is almost like you can at least proc the effect sometimes, but this is one of the bad blue rarity ones. Skullcracker, the wearer deals 5% more damage to enemies whose defense is lower than or equal to this champion's defense. It's a very good gemstone. The issue with many of these are too that for like one specific type, like let's say there's no like damage gemstones for Pentagon or whatever, but then you can do it with the new live arena ones. So sometimes there's not even an alternative for a gemstone that gives you, not even sometimes, like most of the time, there's like one gemstone that increases damage, or maybe a couple of mythic ones, but there really isn't alternative, or might not be a single one except a mythic one. And now we actually have these, and you can't get them, and they're supposed to be the common ones. Rapid Regrowth increases the amount of healing the wearer provides by 5% each time they heal a target. Actually pretty good. I can maybe a little bit more niche, well, actually not. This I think is very good. Is overhealing the enemy like super meta. Not the most meta thing, but well, I mean people do heal a lot in the meta. This is actually a really good gemstone for rare quality. Tough Hide. This one is one of the good ones though. The wearer receives 5% less damage from enemies whose defense is lower than or equal to the wearer's defense. It's a really good gemstone. Now if we compare this to like the epics, 5% more damage against force affinity enemies. The rare one is just easier to fulfill the conditions. This one is better, really. One specific affinity, not against enemies that are not force, but against specifically force affinity enemies. Meanwhile, 5% more damage to enemies that are lower defense than you, and you will put this on a defense scaling nuker. This one is much better, and like I said, it's basically the same thing for every single legendary and epic quality gemstones. There's no crazy ones among them. Almost all of the rare ones are really good. The wearer receives 10% less damage from critical hits. All the relevant damage is critical hit. It's super, well, with few exceptions like Nail. This is incredibly powerful. I would want to get like dozens of like Tough Hides and Runes of Shielding, for instance, on my account. Will of Iron increases the wearer's resistance by 5% of every 5% health lost. Little bit more niche, but even that one is almost usable, and it's probably like the worst blue rarity one. Now, without going through all of these, like the blue gemstone are incredibly good, and they basically design a system where you can't get them. It's impossible to get them unless you are in bronze, but pending on Plarium's investigation, they said that they will look into it. It might be like issue, like not bug, but they might have, you know, they might have not thought it through, and they will look into it. So I will come back to you when we get further messages from the developers, but the community managers already said they're looking into it. Now then we have another, well, this is like maybe oversight, and this is like an actual bug. Now this is not imaged by me. I don't have like a verified trusted source right now. I used to, but my couple data miner friends quit the game long time ago. Anybody that can peer into the abyss and tell me the codes and is willing to do it on command or when I DM them, let me know. I don't have a body that I can confirm this by right now. Allegedly, you can get circle gemstones and that they just screwed the coding and the circle gemstones are disabled from the loot table. Let me know in the comments if you have gotten any circle gemstone from the Winstreak mode. I'll do another poll about it later on. So let me see, I have more. Those are so like one bug, one massive oversight. The oversight is like a massive thing. Then there's another issue. You heard it here, if you didn't hear it on other avenues already. There's a little bit, you know, players are a little bit too smart for the honor and integrity of the arena. Some people, some rascals, some whippersnappers, allegedly, not me. Maybe I'll do it later, to be honest. It's kind of worth it. Some whippersnappers out there think they are smart and they're doing 3 losses before they start the Winstreak mode. It will not start instantly. You need to sign up and you get 1 token basically during the clan boss reset every day or 1 hour. After that, you can get 3 losses in a row, then sign up for the Winstreak mode, then you will get 1 bot battle, and then you need to get 1 less win than that. I kind of feel like this should be fixed, but while it is a thing, everybody else is gonna do it, so probably you should do. I didn't do it yet, but I think I'm probably gonna do it next time. It is kind of what it is. Plarium should fix it though, but the loot here is important. You want to get it, you know. You do what is allowed within the rules, and I didn't make these rules. It wouldn't be like this if I got to decide, but you know, you make the best of what you got. And okay, I have a final kind of concern from my comments in my Discord. Another issue, this is not really like a bug, but like a personal like one thing to think, like insight to think about for Plarium. One other issue is that you can just meet some Uber God accounts. Yeah, actually I have kind of good example. So I got the 5 battle win streak mode, like the 5 wins in a row. With 2 tokens, final token I didn't. I got this guy, you know, all the best to Papa Kratos, but he had incredibly powerful team. The last champion I think was Solanar, and I banned it. And sometimes you will just meet one of those people that they are just, you know, not like 1 level above your league, but like 2000 levels above your league. And it is kind of sad and cringe if you get one of those accounts. Imagine if you're like a guy that is like level 86 or whatever, and you get Crypto as your enemy, or Panda, or insert one of the biggest spenders in the game, and then you lose your win streak mode because of that. It's a little bit cringe. I wish they could do something about the matchmaking, maybe try to scale it based on your player power or something else. And maybe also at the same time look into the, you know, the abusers that are getting some bot battles, you know. I can't what's the word? I always conflate those two. I can't condone, I'm also not gonna condemn. You need to do what you do, and some people play smart and some people don't. I'd rather play smart. Next time I'll do it. But yeah, those are the issues with the live arena Streak mode right now. Outside of that, people seem to be very excited about the game mode. I haven't seen any negative comments really, outside of complaining about like the bugs and issues. Everybody likes the loot, everybody likes the gemstones, and the graphics, everything super nice. Plarium did a nice update. Oh yeah, actually there's one more issue. Now that I remember, one issue is that there's the gladiator loot table, then there's the warlord loot table, and at least now we have 3 tokens or 3 days of this event, and there is like a maximum limit of certain type of like really good loot, like mythic gemstone and 20 mythic materials and so on. Those are not guaranteed though, so even if you do get multiple, I only got 2 5 battle win streaks out of 3 to be fair, but even if you get all 3, you're not guaranteed to get any of these limited time rewards. That might seem a little bit annoying to some people, but I don't know if Plarium actually wants to change it. I don't think the mythic gemstones are that rare though. I didn't get it with 2 chests, but I saw tons of other people getting it, so I think they're kind of relatively attainable, and you're probably gonna get a bunch of those. And outside of that, like I said, I wouldn't even mind getting those rares. Like, it would be fine. I'm not expecting to get one of those mythics every time. Give me a bulk of those rares. What they could do, in my opinion, is that like now you get like 1 or 2 gemstones at the time. Maybe if you're, I think this is fair. Maybe some people are not gonna be happy about this, but if you're like in the higher tier, then you probably should get more quantity. So instead of not getting a mythic gemstone and you get a blue one instead of that, maybe you have a chance to get mythic gemstone, you have a chance to get legendary gemstone, and for epic and like rare rarity 1, maybe you can get all of those at the same time if you're incredibly lucky. Maybe you can get multiple rares because they are kind of supposed to be like a bulk type of thing. But I do want these rares. Give Plarium some feedback. They need to enable these rare gemstones for us and potentially the circle ones if they're disabled as well. That's about it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Maybe you have some other issues that I didn't talk about on this video, or maybe I helped you out with some kind of you know, little bit scheming with those bot battles. Anyway, that's it. See ya.